The Nightingale. A Conversation Poem. By Samuel Taylor Coleridge. The Nightingale. A conversation poem is a poem written by Samuel Taylor Coleridge in April 1798. Originally included in the first edition of Lyrical Ballads, which he published with William Wordsworth. The poem disputes the traditional idea that nightingales are connected to the idea of melancholy. Instead, the nightingale represents to Coleridge the experience of nature. Midway through the poem, the narrator stops discussing the nightingale in order to describe a mysterious female and a Gothic scene. After the narrator is returned to his original train of thought by the nightingale's song, he recalls a moment when he took his crying son out to see the moon, which immediately filled the child with joy. Critics have found the poem either decent with little complaint or as one of his better poems containing beautiful lines. The nightingale is used as an image to begin a topic that was directed towards William and Dorothy Wordsworth, Coleridge's friends. The nightingale was used as a sign of melancholy because of its relationship to the legend of Philomela, a rape victim. Although Coleridge corrects the idea of nightingale as melancholic, the poem relies on the tradition and Gothic descriptions to guide the poem. Eventually, the nightingale is what brings the narrator back to his topic after diverging from it in a manner similar to John Keats's use in Ode to a Nightingale. Unlike tradition, the nightingales represented an experience that Coleridge had with his friends, the Wordsworths. During the moment within the poem, a female is described that seems to be a combination of Dorothy and the title character of Christabel. There is no mention of Coleridge's wife, Sarah, which separates the nightingale from the other conversation poems. The poem does mention their child, Hartley, and an incident in which he saw the moon one night. The scene allows the narrator to return to the domestic and to nature. After discussing Philomela, the poem lists a series of places that are a possible combination of real places with Gothic descriptions. Let's look at the poem. The Nightingale. A conversational poem. No cloud, no relic of the sunken day, distinguishes the west, no long thin slip of sullen light, no obscure rambling hues. Come, we will rest on this old mossy bridge. You see the glimmer of the stream beneath, but hear no murmuring, it flows silently. O'er its soft bed of verdure, all is still. A balmy night, and though the stars be dim, yet let us think upon the vernal showers that gladden the green earth, and we shall find a pleasure in the dimness of the stars. And hark! The nightingale begins its song. Most musical, most melancholy one bird. A melancholy bird? O idle thought! In nature there is nothing melancholy, but some night-wandering man, whose heart was pierced with the remembrance of a grievous wrong, or slow distemper or neglected love, and so, poor wretch, filled all things with himself, and made all gentle sounds tell back the tale of his own sorrows. He and such as he first numbed these notes a melancholy strain, and many a poet echoes the conceit. Poet, who hath been building up the rhyme, when he had better far have stretched his limbs beside a brook in mossy forest dell, by sun or moonlight, to the influxes of shapes and sounds and shifting elements, surrendering his whole spirit, of his song, and of his fame forgetful, so his fame should share in nature's immortality, a venerable thing, and so his song should make all nature lovelier, and itself be loved, like nature. But 'twill not be so. And youths and maidens most poetical, who lose the deepening twilights of the spring, in ballrooms and hot theatres, they still, full of meek sympathy, must heave their sighs, or Philomela's pity-pleading strains. My friend, and my friend's sister, we have learnt a different law, we may not thus profane nature's sweet voices, always full of love and joyance. 'Tis the merry nightingale, that crowds, and hurries, and precipitates. With fast thick warble his delicious notes. As he were fearful, that an April night would be too short for him to utter forth his love chant, and disburthen his full soul of all its music. And I know a grove of large extent, hard by a castle huge, which the great lord inhabits not, and so this grove is wild with tangling underwood, and the trim walks are broken up, and grass, thin grass and kingcups grow within the paths. But never elsewhere in one place I knew so many nightingales, and far and near, in wood and thicket over the wide grove, they answer and provoke each other's songs, with skirmish and capricious passagings, and murmurs musical and swift jug-jug, and one low piping sound more sweet than all, stirring the air with such an harmony, that should you close your eyes, you might almost forget it was not day, on moonlight bushes, whose dewy leaflets are but half disclosed. You may perchance behold them on the twigs, their bright, bright eyes, their eyes both bright and full, glistening, while many a glowworm in the shade lights up her love torch. A most gentle maid, who dwelleth in her hospitable home, hard by the castle, and at latest eve, even like a lady vowed and dedicate to something more than nature in the grove, glides through the pathways, she knows all their notes, that gentle maid, and oft, a moment's space, what time the moon was lost behind a cloud, hath heard a pause of silence, till the moon, emerging, hath awakened earth and sky with one sensation, and those wakeful birds have all burst forth in choral minstrelsy, as if one quick and sudden gale had swept 100 airy harps, and she hath watched many a nightingale perch giddily on blosmy twigs still swinging from the breeze, and to that motion tune his wanton song, like tipsy joy that reels with tossing head. Farewell, O warbler, till tomorrow eve. And you, my friends, farewell, a short farewell. We have been loitering long and pleasantly, and now for our dear homes. That strain again. Full fain it would delay me, my dear babe, who, capable of no articulate sound, mars all things with his imitative lisp. How he would place his hand beside his ear, his little hand, the small forefinger up, and bid us listen, and I deem it wise to make him nature's playmate. He knows well the evening star, and once when he awoke, in most distressful mood, some inward pain had made up that strange thing, an infant's dream. I hurried with him to our orchard plot, and he beholds the moon, and hushed he at once, suspends his sobs, and laughs most silently, while his fair eyes that swam with undropped tears did glitter in the yellow moonbeam. Well, it is a father's tale, but if that heaven should give me life, his childhood shall grow up familiar with these songs, that with the night he may associate joy. Once more farewell, sweet nightingale, once more, my friends, farewell. End of the poem. Thank you. Thank